Fans in shock. Cardi B and Stef Diggs' baby rushed into emergency surgery. A heart-stopping, tear-filled, internet-breaking fictional story. The world woke up to absolute heartbreak when reports surfaced that Cardi B and Stefon Diggs' newborn son had been rushed into the emergency room in the middle of the night. No one saw it coming, not even close, and within minutes, social media exploded into panic, confusion, and prayers from millions of fans worldwide. The frantic 1:47 a.m. phone call. Cardi was at home in a soft robe feeding the baby when she noticed something wasn't right. Her son, usually calm, began breathing weirdly, tiny gasps, followed by long pauses. Then his skin started turning pale. Cardi froze. "Stef! Something's wrong with him. Something's wrong," she screamed with a trembling voice. Stefon Diggs, half asleep but instantly alert, sprinted downstairs. One look at the baby's face and he dropped his phone. "Call 911 now." Cardi's hands were shaking so badly she could barely dial. Tears already rolling down her face, she pressed the baby against her chest, whispering, "Stay with me, baby, please, stay with mommy." The race to the hospital. Sirens rang through the night, echoing across the neighborhood. Cardi and Stefon rode together in the ambulance, holding their baby's tiny hand while paramedics worked rapidly. The monitors beeped rapidly. Then, one long beep. Cardi screamed. Stefon stood frozen, gripping the wall to keep himself from collapsing. Paramedics fought hard, performing emergency procedures inside the moving ambulance. After several terrifying seconds, the baby's heartbeat returned, weak but present. Cardi sobbed into Stef's chest, shaking uncontrollably. Fans gather outside the hospital. By the time they reached the hospital, TMZ had already broken the story. Within an hour, fans lined up outside the building. Candles and teddy bears were placed on the sidewalk. "Pray for Cardi and Stef" trended #1 worldwide. Celebrities sent messages of support. Offset quietly posted a broken heart emoji. Buffalo Bills teammates called Stef nonstop. Inside, Cardi collapsed onto a chair, hands on her face. "What's happening to my baby? Just tell me something," she cried to the doctor. Stef held her shoulders, but his own eyes were swollen red. The doctor's devastating words. A surgeon finally approached. "We need to operate," he said calmly but seriously. "Your son's condition is critical. We believe there is an internal complication affecting his breathing." Cardi broke down instantly. No, not surgery, he's just a baby," she cried, grabbing Stef's arm. Stefon cupped her face. "We have to do this. He's strong, baby. He gets that from you." The doctor added. "It has to be done now. Every second counts." Cardi held the baby's forehead and whispered, "Mommy's right here, you're gonna make it, you're my miracle." They watched as the tiny infant was wheeled away. Stefon Diggs, the tough NFL receiver, turned around and punched the wall, tears streaming. "Why my son? Why?" The weight that destroyed them. Hours passed. Cardi sat silently, hair messy, no makeup, shaking with fear. Stef paced the room over and over, unable to sit. At one point, Cardi broke the silence. "Stef, if anything happens to him, I'm done. I don't care about fame, nothing. I can't lose him." Stef sat beside her, pulling her into his chest. "We're not losing him. You hear me? Not tonight. Not ever." Their families arrived. Offset came with Culture and Wave. Hennessy hugged Cardi tightly. Even coaching staff and teammates showed up. The hallway felt like a vigil. Mid-surgery panic. After nearly 3 hours, alarms went off in the OR. A nurse ran out. "We're losing him." Cardi fell to her knees. Stef screamed, "Save my son." Doctors rushed back in. Fans outside heard the update through reporters and collectively gasped. The miracle turnaround. 30 agonizing minutes later, the surgeon reappeared, with a different tone this time. He made it. Cardi gasped. Stef grabbed the doctor's arm. He's stable. The surgery worked. Your son is a fighter. Cardi completely broke down in Stef's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Stefan kissed her forehead repeatedly, whispering. We got him, we got our boy. First time seeing him post-surgery. They were led into the NICU, where their baby lay hooked to tubes and wires, but breathing steadily. Cardi gently touched his tiny fingers. I'm so proud of you, she whispered. Stef choked up, wiping tears from his face. My son, my warrior. Cardi looked at Stef and whispered. Let's protect him with everything we have. Tonight changed me. Forever. Stef nodded. Me too. Family first, always. The world celebrates. By morning, the internet exploded with relief. Fans celebrated the miraculous recovery. Baby Diggs is a fighter trended worldwide. Millions posted prayers, artwork, and messages. Celebrities shared emotional reactions. Media from all over covered the story non-stop. Cardi later posted a message on Instagram. Thank you everyone for your prayers. Last night was the scariest moment of my life. My baby is strong. God is good. Stefan added. My son is a champion. My family means everything to me. Here is your very long, dramatic, emotional, YouTube-ready fictional story for fans in shock. Cardi B and Stef Diggs' baby rushed into emergency surgery. White medium star fans in shock. Cardi B and Stef Diggs' baby rushed into emergency surgery. A heart-stopping night that changed everything. It happened on a quiet evening in Atlanta, quiet for everyone except Cardi B and Stefan Diggs. For weeks, the couple had been cautiously celebrating their newborn son's arrival, balancing joy with fear as doctors monitored his fragile health. But nothing prepared them for this night, the night everything spiraled into chaos. White Medium Star Chapter 1, The First Warning Signs. Cardi had just finished bathing the baby when she noticed something unusual. His breathing, shallow, rapid, uneven. She froze. Stef. Stef. Come here now, she shouted, her voice trembling. Stefan rushed into the nursery, shirt half off, panic already building in his chest. The baby was struggling, tiny chest rising and falling too fast, lips slightly pale. Call the doctor. Now. Now, Stef. Cardi screamed, tears already forming. Her hands were shaking as she tried to keep her baby calm, whispering. Mommy's here, baby, mommy's here. White Medium Star Chapter 2, The 911 Call That Shook the House. Stefan grabbed the phone with trembling fingers. Yes, my son, he can't breathe right. He's not responding like before. Please, send help. Please. The operator stayed calm, but Stefan felt like the walls were closing in. Cardi could hear sirens in the distance, faint at first, then louder, until the entire neighborhood was lit by flashing red and blue lights. When the EMTs rushed inside, Cardi refused to let go of her baby at first. They practically had to pry her hands from him to place him onto the emergency stretcher. Ma'am, we need room to work on him. No. Don't take him from me, please don't take him from me, she cried hysterically. Stef pulled her into his arms as she screamed into his chest. White Medium Star Chapter 3, The Race Against Time. Inside the ambulance, it was chaos. Machines beeping. Oxygen masks. A tiny helpless baby fighting for breath. Cardi was crying so hard she couldn't even speak. Stefan held her hand while staring at the EMTs with fear he had never felt in his entire life, the fear of losing the one thing that mattered the most. Stay with me, Stefan whispered to his son. Stay with me, little man. Daddy's right here. But things worsened. The baby's oxygen levels plunged. The EMT's voice raised. He needs immediate surgical intervention. His airway is compromised. Cardi gasped, covering her mouth. Stefan froze, his heart collapsing. White Medium Star Chapter 4, The Emergency Room Breakdown. When they reached the hospital, doctors and nurses sprinted the baby into a surgical prep room. Cardi tried to follow, but a nurse blocked her. "Ma'am, you can't come in. You have to wait outside. That's my baby. Let me in." Cardi screamed, trying to push past them. Stefan grabbed her, pulling her into a tight hold as she struggled against him. "Cardi, babe, please, please." His voice broke. "We gotta trust them." But even he was shaking uncontrollably. The doors shut. The red surgery in progress sign lit up like a nightmare. Cardi fell to the floor sobbing, hands covering her face, feeling like the world was ripping apart. White Medium Star Chapter 5, Fans Find Out. And the internet explodes. Within minutes, the hospital had been swarmed. Someone leaked a photo of Cardi running into the ER, mascara smeared, eyes swollen from crying. Hashtag started trending instantly. Hashtag pray for Cardi's baby. Hashtag stay strong Stef. Hashtag Cardi Stef baby. Millions of fans were begging for updates. Please God, not their baby. Cardi doesn't deserve this pain. Stef looks destroyed. I hope their little boy fights through. The entire internet held its breath. White Medium Star Chapter 6, A surgeon walks out with news. And it's not good. Hours passed. Never had time moved so slowly. Cardi sat slumped, head on Stefan's shoulder, whispering prayers between sobs. Stefan, usually strong and confident, looked like a broken man, eyes red, hands shaking. Finally, a surgeon appeared. Cardi stood so fast her knees nearly buckled. "Please, please tell me he's okay," she begged. The doctor took a breath. There were complications. "Your son's airway collapsed. We're fighting to stabilize him right now." Cardi let out a scream, raw, heartbreaking. Stefan covered his face, shoulders shaking with silent sobs. "But we're not giving up," the surgeon added quickly. "We're doing everything medically possible to save him." White Medium Star Chapter 7, The Moment That Changed Everything. Minutes later, alarms sounded inside the operating room. Cardi froze. Stefan stood up instantly. "What's happening? What's happening?" Cardi screamed. Doctors ran into the room. Nurses followed. Then the surgeon reappeared, this time rushing out with urgency. "We need parental consent, now. There's been another complication. He needs a second, more invasive procedure." Cardi felt the world tilt. "Do whatever you have to do. Save my baby," she cried, barely able to sign the papers through tears. The surgeon nodded and sprinted back inside. Cardi collapsed again. Stefan held her like she was the only thing keeping him from completely shattering. White Medium Star Chapter 8, Miracle. Or Tragedy. Hours passed. Cardi whispered prayers non-stop. Stefan paced the hallway like a man possessed. At 4:17 a.m., the surgeon stepped out again, exhausted, sweat on his forehead. They held their breath. The surgery was successful. Cardi dropped straight to the floor, crying out in relief. Stefan hugged her, tears streaming down his face. But, the surgeon added softly, he is still critical. The next 72 hours will determine everything. Their relief instantly turned into fear again. They were not out of danger. Not yet. White Medium Star Chapter 9, The ICU Visit That Broke Their Hearts. A nurse guided them into the neonatal ICU. Their baby lay there, tiny body connected to tubes, wires, machines, oxygen pumps. Cardi burst into tears seeing him like that. Stefan placed a hand on the incubator, whispering, "You fought, little man, keep fighting." Cardi gently rested her hand beside him, voice shaking.